Hello YouTube, this is A&D Anime Reactions, and I'm Daquan.
And I'm Alexander.
And today we're watching My Happy Marriage Season 2, Episode 6 today. And this is coming up after we know that Miyo is being targeted by this creeper who has this power where he's like, can mess with all your senses. And despite how smart Kudo is, Kyoka's like, okay, we gotta make sure she's protected. And for the dumbest reason, he sends all the guards to be a box around Miyo. And knowing that this dude has a limited area of how his power works, and he can just mess with all of them at the same exact time. Don't ask me why Kyoka can be super smart in other times, and this time, he's failing miserably.
Plot.
Terrible reason. I want a smart Kyoka. You needed snipers on the outside. You needed snipers on the inside, because the inside got faded, then the outside can cover. If the outside got faded, then the inside can cover. But right now, the way they're doing it, Miyo's getting took. We're about to have a stolen or kidnapped episode because Miyo's about to get caught, and I'm going to be sad.
Which one sudden questions? Where are the guns? Because they have gun straps.
Yes, but so far I think they've only attached swords to them.
A choice.
I guess so. But hopefully projectile magic is good enough. But we already know that I'm already calling it. Miyo's getting took. I'm sad about it, but out of all the genius that's there, if it's plot driven, there's other ways to drive plot. Stupidity doesn't have to be one of them.
Better off than is.
Well, let's see. Yeah, so let's get into this.
Miyo, please be safe. And Kyoka, please kill him.
Well,
not yet.
The safe part is going to be questionable. Kill him, sure. Smoke ops. I've been saying that when we're in Sakamoto days. He's talking about no smoking now, except for in this show. For whatever reason, it's okay to murder in My Happy Marriage, but not in Sakamoto days.
Because Miyo deserves murder.
Well, sounds like husband material to me. Let's go.
What period are those cards from?
His Majesty must be inside.
What parts are what parts?
Period.
Oh, well, I looked this up because I was looking at the fact that episode 12 might be delayed. That they said that this era is somewhere between the Meiji and the Taisho era. That's kind of what they've estimated it to be.
Mm-hmm. So the cards look like the very first cards you see.
They like the Henry Ford type of cars.
Yeah.
There's no doubt he's involved in this scheme somehow. Has there been any communication from them? No.
You wouldn't even know, because Usui would be messing with your senses anyway.
What could be so important? This is Usui. This could all be a trap, like the one that got Kodo. Mr. Kudo, if all of this is indeed a trap...
Miyo's getting took. Like I said, it's going to be a Taken episode part 2.
Kudo! What is it, Major General? Prince Takahito has had a revelation. Your fiancée is in imminent danger as we speak.
No, really? It made a whole bunch of sense to have everyone clustered around her.
I'll admit, I wasn't expecting such a warm reception.
Yeah, you were.
I've come here for you, Miyo.
Bruh.
That smile is so creepy.
Yeah. I'm unhappy with that. It won't let me skip it. Well, we're going to skip it with the mouse pad. We watched the opening of the very last episode.
How did you get in? I don't understand. The barrier reset should not be so easy to break through.
He was probably already there. He was like, what barrier? I was already here.
Oh, that's cool.
I thought I saw a small bird flying just now. How can this be? The barrier has been compromised.
Oh.
And now we're all trapped inside, unable to escape.
That's
Here's a
interesting.
query for you. What you just saw now, was it reality? Perhaps it was only an illusion.
Oh, right.
Saying what you see with your own eyes is entirely subjective. You may
In this world, seeing is not believing.
I know. That's interesting because that implies that, one, he could either be messing with the barrier, or two, he could be messing with the barrier or messing with them instead. Which, admittedly, is a great way of buying time. You can't tell. Is this actually my own perception, or is this actually mechanics?
Yep, because he can mess with all 5 senses. So it means, in this sense, you can't trust any of your senses. You can't trust what you feel, smell, taste, hear, or see. So how else do you get through this?
Yeah. And he's doing it in a smart way where it's very subtle. Like, previously it was an extreme case, but very slight manipulations of your perceptions like this are actually terrifying because they're just real enough that you cannot discount them.
Yeah, but I wonder if he's just doing this also because it was like an energy save, because it's easier for him to do the slight perception manipulations, or because he's trying to be a little bit more terrifying. Because in my mind, I'm like, I got all the guards in front of me right now. Let me just knock them out like I did the other guards, and just take Miyo, and then do all the little subtle things afterwards. People just see me running in the other direction, and I'm going in the other direction.
It is probably a time. It probably is an energy saving cost because it would possibly be exhausting to sort of drain all of them. So if he just does a little trick like this that makes them a bit off, then he can probably make a move.
Yeah, so now he can just do more so manipulation where he can talk himself out of the situation instead of actually expending a lot of energy. So when he has to do it, knowing that he's going up against Kyoka, that it might be easier to deal with long
So
term.
in their case, they might think, okay, we have to make this as hard on him as possible. We have to make him struggle as much as possible. Like, we know that this is a loss, but we need to make it suck for him so bad.
Hopefully that's what they're thinking. They're trying, but
Like,
it was already a flawed plan from to begin with. It was a very dumb plan to begin
man,
with.
but also, they're officers. They should have some sense of, like, they should know that against ability users, attrition and annoyance are the keys. Like, make them waste their energy.
True.
believe it to be reality, but can you trust that? Just get to the point! Where is your commander now? I've noticed he's absent. I am the one he fears the most, and yet he's nowhere to be found.
Throw a sword at him.
Spear got the best of him, and his tail between his legs. See,
You're assuming that he's actually standing right there.
I know, but that would be once again waste energy. Also, if the sword passes through him, that means they know he's not in front of them anymore.
Or he could just make it seem like the sword actually hit him and then fall on the ground.
Yeah, that's still energy waste. You need. To, it's also assuming that every single time he does something with his ability, it costs a little bit more energy. Unless once he catches you, that's it. That feels almost like too overpowered.
Well, it's not the first time we see something overpowered in like an anime world because we go back to like the genjutsus from Naruto.
I know, but in this show specifically.
Yeah.
I think that it's awfully mysterious that your barrier is inverted now. Are you insinuating the commander betrayed us? Well, if he didn't, just who invited me in?
You're stupid.
Yes.
Not to worry, I'll answer.
It's not their fault.
It's a girl.
She's not there.
See?
Oh, she is.
Thank you very much for your cooperation. Kaoruko Chinochi.
Was she really a rat this entire time?
I somehow
We were
doubt
fooled.
that.
Yeah.
Enough of this act. That is impossible.
It was me.
What?
I was the one who compromised the barrier we set.
Why?
Chinochi, what are you saying?
We were lied to.
Oh, sweet. He took my father as hostage.
Oh.
And so he coerced me to tamper with the barrier.
Oh.
He
Okay, makes
tortured my
sense.
father in front of me. And I saw how much pain he was in. I couldn't bear
What's
to
the
let
back
it
one?
continue. You take me letters, but I couldn't have any way much results. I father and call back to record his barrier the barrier. And so he coerced me to tamper with the barrier. He tortured my father in front of me. And I saw how much pain he was in. I couldn't bear to let it continue. I'm a failed soldier. I'm terribly sorry. Oh, Kaoruko.
But would I really torture your father like that? You certain your eyes were not just deceiving you? Tell me, is it not a little peculiar that you were there?
Okay, that's fun.
Don't play games. After everything that you've done, my father definitely was...
Captain, I think he's telling the truth. I trained with Instructor Tinochi in the dojo a few days ago. He seemed like his usual self then. Kaoruko Jinochi, are you that confident in the truth of your memories? Just how certain are you?
But you... my father...
Huh.
It can't be. Was it all really just an illusion? It can't be.
Okay, now it really is broken.
Yep.
That means that I did all this.
And this is why I'm always just like, why is the dream sight so much more powerful? I'm like, if I was Usui, I would prefer Usui's powers over Miyo's any day.
Mm-hmm.
I'd literally be a walking demon. People couldn't trust anything. They couldn't trust anyone, even themselves. Nothing to them would feel real.
We need someone with Miyo's power that used them for malicious evil, so we can see how bad it can get.
Yeah. Because right now, this dude is truly one demon type. Where you can't trust your own memory. You're like, how do you... And this is like from me being a scientist, which is why also I kind of find some things with science kind of being a little iffy. Because everything we do scientifically has to come down to something that we can perceive, which means we're limited by our five senses. If it's not something we can see, touch, smell, hear, or taste, then realistically there's no observation for us to use. And so therefore we're limited by saying that only evidence that can be perceived by the five senses is what matters. And that's not necessarily the case. And so like in cases like this where it's just like your reality is built around these five senses and now he can just do whatever he wants with them. You can't trust any of them. What is the next way of moving through the world to make sure that you don't have to deal with the fact that you can't trust your memory or any of your five senses?
You go insane.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I say he's a walking demon.
Yeah.
Because now you're so detached from your life because you're like, I can't trust my family. I can't trust myself. I don't even know if I'm really real. Is this a simulation?
He's more demon than the actual demons at this point.
Yeah. It's wild.
Come over here. Come with your papa and everything will be alright. One reality that you can trust.
Creepy.
Villain! What are you doing?
Should have called him a demon.
Oh.
Damn gifted communion! On guard!
Ooh! Friendly fire.
Now, huh?
Uh-oh. You got some Kyoko lightning.
Masquerade here!
So now it makes me think, are grotesqueries even really real? Because he can create them thinking about grotesqueries.
But like, can you not use your head for a second? Like, you know this guy can mess up perceptions. You know that suddenly, suddenly there is the cult member here. Suddenly, there are two demons here. Think for 2 seconds.
Well, you don't know if he's even doing the mental things too, where they're just kind of giving him the impulsive react. Because remember, he can mess with it. Well, he only can mess with their senses. He can't mess with their thinking.
Yeah,
Right?
he can't mess with their adrenaline.
Yeah. So if they chose to stay calm, yeah, it would be harder for them to react. So I guess if you have like a mind of steel, then you're just like, do whatever you want.
But I mean, they should be almost preempted to think, okay, if things get a little bit odd, think. Remember, he's doing this on purpose to make you flustered.
Well, the question is, everything he's doing right now is odd. So therefore, it's just like, in this world where you know he has the gift of communion people, he's created demons and all these other things, would it be odd that he would bring grotesqueries or demons or cult members with him?
That there's something by your side about it, and it sound.
Well, he wasn't even supposed to get inside the barrier.
I know, but still, I am not so sure.
Yeah, so I can see where they're coming from because I'm just like, if I was dealing with a person like that, I'll also try to make sure there was at least one extra mole in there for people who think like you, and have them shank everybody. So people are like, oh, this is very weird. Shank. Oh my goodness, he was real. I'm like, no.
Okay, that would be funny. It's like, there are 2 moles. One that point out, the other one just
Yes.
killed the doubters.
Yes. So I've been covering all my bases. So I would have been good on the defense side, getting rid of getting Usui. And I would have been good on the Usui side, taking his powers and just being real full-time demon mode. It would have been higher than demon. I would have been Satan himself. I was just like, yeah, we getting everybody out of here. I'm getting what I want all the time.
But you mentioned how this guy has the same power as Kyoko. It's the same coloration. I don't think the people he shocks before have had this aura.
No. He's mostly made like violent lightning where things caught on fire.
Maybe that's just a measure of strength. Like, when Kyoko strikes someone, they tend to die.
They incinerate.
So they can't have an aura. Or it's so fast, they die.
He tortures them. He literally, like how fire usually, like how lightning here causes fires, he's like that. He's like a natural disaster.
Yeah.
Play buttons here.
Not getting along.
His eyes are even purple like a demon.
This is Usui's ability! Be gone! None of you here can oppose me. Silence! Now!
Oh. Huh? Okay, that's...
That's crazy. Ooh! Somebody just got stabbed.
Even the slightest doubt can lead to your demise on the battlefield. You should know that by now.
But those are all...
Fear can be understood, but it's still hard to beat.
Wanted to say something?
Yeah, that's a very extreme manipulation. Like,
Yes.
completely messes up your perception entirely. Like,
Yeah. You're completely thinking you're about to jump off a cliff. Those like remind me of those rides, because I remember going to Disney World as a child, and I had the misfortune of getting into like the space shuttle trip, the space shuttle ride with my mom, and we're inside these little boxes, right? It was all virtual reality, and it just rocks around. And we land on Mars inside the ride, and we're about to tip over, and my mom's screaming for dear life. I'm like, you know that we're in a box on the ground, right? She's like, she's still screaming. And she's like, don't move, don't move. I'm like, we're in a box on the ground. We're not about to die. We're like, don't move. I'm like, we're in a box on the ground. We walked into the box before we got in here. I don't understand why we're panicking. So I feel like it's going to be that same sensation where it's just like your brain perceives it, and then fear just like the amygdala just lights up. Fear comes on. It's like, oh, I can't think rationally.
well, in that case, that was so extreme that even I can understand you being taken off because, like,
Yeah.
your balance is suddenly off. You can't see anything. It's like, so here's probably affecting your sight,
that's
your sense of equilibrium.
Yeah, because your sense of equilibrium is also a sense because it's actually part of your auditory system.
Right? Like,
So I even think about that. So if you made me feel like you're about to fall over, that would be real trippy.
right? Like, sight.
Yeah.
Also, you can probably imitate the feeling of the ocean breeze on your skin, so you feel like you're actually outside. That your sense of touch is probably the sense of coldness. So,
Yeah, so that would really throw you off. Though.
right?
You're
Like, there's
wait.
so much that your senses, like, as we said before, your reality is your 5 senses
Yeah.
to a almost terrifying degree. So if you can manipulate all of them in varying degrees of precision and like strength,
That's true.
so like, I can totally get why this would do it because there's no way you can counter that. Like
That's true.
even
Even if you hesitate for a second, still say, you know what? I know this is a trick. I'm going to follow through.
right,
Hope
like,
for the best.
You're going to stop immediately unless you have no sense of self-preservation. Because suddenly, if you suddenly see a fireball, you're going
Your
to
goal is going to try to dodge.
right unless you do not give a S about yourself.
Yeah.
So that I can get, but that also means you can afford to spend so much energy on this one guard versus that guard.
Well, the other ones murk themselves.
I know, so
fire.
that's the thing. So maybe it's a mixture of like, I guess he does it based on needs. Like,
Yeah.
maybe he just didn't want to deal with that one guard right there because or that's another thing. Like you said before, the more people that are around, the less energy he has to expend because the more he can have them sort of like take each other out.
Yep.
But when there's just one person, he needs to completely immobilize them and then do it himself.
Because it doesn't seem like he's particularly strong, right? He doesn't seem like he's like really built and athletic like
No.
Kyoko or any of the guards. It's just that he's just good with being able to take advantage of the opportunity.
Yeah.
Even a person with a very powerful tool set, if you're a great tactician,
Yeah.
you can overcome even the strongest of foes.
And also, a blade doesn't care how strong you are.
Yeah.
It's going to stab you regardless.
Yeah.
This one, right?
Yep.
All the pests are out of the way now.
See, that sounds kind of rapey. Because he's saying in such that low, insidious voice. He's like, all the pests are out of the way now.
He's talking very, very... It's like the term of when he calls himself his father, and then it's like, that's so... That implies either domestic abuse, or it implies like that sort of like the father, like daughter, like kink. That's
I don't think.
Yeah, it's trippy. I don't like him. I don't like him at all. His powers are great, but I don't like him at all.
supposed to like him. So it means they're doing a good job characterizing him.
Yeah.
So.
Let's try to go back a little bit.
The pests are out of the way now.
I don't think so. Kaoruko! I'm stopping you here and now.
Overcoming your fears to rejoin the fight, I'm impressed.
You won't come anywhere near her.
She's glowing.
So, what were you saying about not being physically impressive?
Yeah. I guess his cloak kind of hit it.
Right? It's like, she's a competent swordsman,
That's true.
and he's fighting off against a sword with a knife.
Yeah.
That
Oh, I was wrong.
Right? That only makes sense if he is somehow a superior fighter to her.
Or he's pushing her off enough. Kind
I
of throw
guess,
off her
but
skills.
still, it's like he has a short. Then again, I guess it's like his shorter blade is sort of counteracted by his larger build, so the reach is almost like.
I don't know about that. I think my simplest thing is that he can just make her perception off a little bit, so she's always just missing just slightly, and he's able to react.
Oh
just in
right,
time.
yeah, he can do that then. Mm-hmm.
Because she's just even a centimeter off is like, you're not going to stab me, right?
Aim for the core. A centimeter off the core is still in the core.
Yeah.
As long as I keep aiming for your heart, I'm going to hit something.
A performance enhancing ability.
Oh. Oh.
He's toying with her. She knows she is a very capable warrior.
Same thing you said.
Sword fight.
Ooh! Right in the left boobie.
No, Kaoruko!
Yeah, he's not weak at all.
He should draw another knife and stab her in the gut instead.
Well, then we're going to lose Miyo's only friend. You know she's going to forgive her for her ratting them out, so.
I know, but if he is as evil as I thought he would, I figured he would have gone for the kill again.
Yeah. We don't know, but we don't understand his motive though either. So we don't know what he's trying to get Miyo for, and if he really wants to kill people, and how truly evil he really is. He seems malicious just because of our impression, because of his voice and his
And in fact,
eyes.
he's getting people to kill each other.
Well, that's just probably just the nature of his powers. Like a person would think that necromancers are innately evil, so they're killing things that make the necromancy army stronger. That's just, their powers don't work unless you have dead things.
I know, but there's already dead things in the first place.
Yeah, but there's always this underlying thought process that the fresher the thing is, the stronger it is.
Why?
It's less decayed.
But if you're animating with magic, why does that matter? Unless it's based on actual biology, but then why would skeletons work? Right? Like,
Yeah. But they shouldn't be able to move. There's no muscles. There's nothing tugging it.
but they're still skeleton armies.
Yeah.
By that proxy, Jin Woo says shadow army.
Yeah.
There's no muscles in the shadows.
No.
There is no.
But Iron's still jacked.
He is, but there is no biology in it. So
No. Well, this is why they're in fantastical worlds.
I know. The problem with assuming powers of bias is you understand that in every single fantasy setting, powers work differently.
Yep, that's true.
So unless we know intrinsically how his powers work, which we don't, like for all we know, he could be able to sail people non-lethally. He could, or he could not. We do not know.
That's true.
But the fact that he chooses to do it almost, well, he chooses, even when he is taking them out non-lethally, like when he still did it in a horrifying way, like drowning.
Yeah.
It's like, there has to be less malicious ways to knock someone out than to think they're choking to death.
That's true. Well, it means he mustn't, like you said, it means there's a malicious intent where it's like he wants them to suffer.
Right? Like, why else would you make someone think they're drowning? One of the most horrifying ways to go.
Yeah, that's why one of the best ways of torturing people is waterboarding, which is sad to say is why I thought Classroom of Elites was still one of my favorites because of the maliciousness, the tactfulness, the character developments between the real MCs, and it's just like it just went there.
Mm-hmm.
The stakes are always high, and there's nothing that the school's going to do about it. The win is going to be the strongest versus the weakest. The strong will survive.
Poor Blondie.
She's doing better now, but I'm afraid that Ayana Koji is going to mess her up in this next season.
She still deserves so much better.
She does. What do you think you could do, Miyo? Just sit down, be quiet, and avoid the scary guy.
This next strike will take you down.
You realize you just had that wind knocked out of you, right?
Knock him out, then dream sight him.
that
That would be what to do.
would be useful, but considering,
can't.
yeah, but
Wouldn't that be hilarious if that's the goal she goes?
if she can do that, I'll be happy. But the way he just palmed her,
But then it makes sense, though. It's being unconscious, the same as being asleep or dream sight. Because technically they're different.
that's true. But I think so far it's been proven to be the case, right? Because that demon guy was unconscious. He wasn't asleep.
Mm-hmm.
So I think both are the same for her.
But was he actually unconscious? Because he was like he was struggling and stuff. So like, it seemed like he was more having a nightmare versus him having like a brain in it. Because like, if you are knocked out, blackout, you shouldn't have much brain activity to have like nightmares.
That's not true, necessarily.
Huh.
Because unconscious doesn't mean that you have lack of brain activity. That's just lack of conscious thought processes.
Okay. But isn't being knocked out just a concussion?
No, concussion is when you have rapid movement in the brain due to force applied to the head.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get a concussion and still stay conscious the entire time.
Oh. And you pass up from pain?
No, not necessarily. Usually you can pass out because of the shock or the jolt. Mm-hmm. It could be pain related, but it also doesn't have to be pain related.
But I mean, when you pass up from pain, what is your brain like then?
If you pass out from pain, it's mostly because your brain's probably getting overloaded.
Mm-hmm.
So it basically tries to do like a equivalent of like a system reset.
Turn it on and off again.
Because that same type of thing can happen if a person gets overwhelmed. Like, say they have to, the person was like absolutely terrified of public speaking. They get put on a stage, you see 100,000 people in front of them, and they pass out. So like when your brain gets overloaded, it just says, "Up, reboot." Boom.
We are nothing but system software at the end of the day. BioWare.
Yep. So yeah. So I think it works for unconscious people as well because being asleep is essentially being unconscious. It's just a certain type of unconscious. It's something that's required for maintenance on a daily basis.
Still.
System required unconsciousness.
Miyo. Clench your fist. Punch him out. Then mess with his dreams.
I wonder how strong Miyo really is, because she's been doing a lot of housework and house labor. Her hands look kind of callous for like a hand, so she can't be weak. She should be able to do a little bit of a sting if she punched him in the face.
She's probably moderately strong, just by virtue of, like, as you said, she's more of a house worker than a wife.
Yeah, but even my family members don't just do housework though. We've been putting up drywall.
I mean, it's rough.
Doing roofs.
I know, but it's still it's a laborious physical activity.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she was probably decently strong for her size. Nothing to write home about, but
Yeah, but she's also very tiny, so.
And timid.
Well, timid and strength doesn't have to be one.
I know,
and the
but
same.
timid means she wouldn't probably put her full force behind something.
I think survival mechanism would kick in.
Even with Miyo.
To be determined. I think people never know until you get into those situations.
This is her situation.
Well, Usui's still too far, so we don't know if he gets all up in her grill. She'll go, no!
Aim for the crotch.
Yes. When in doubt, kick him out.
Kick them out.
Yep.
Remove his ability to have children.
Yep. Sterilize him. We don't need any more Usuis in this world. We have Miyo.
I mean, we do need more Usuis, just not in that regard.
Yes.
He should not be permitted to pass down his genes. Or he should. He's been killed. So his behavior can't be passed down.
Sure.
Either or will do. Oh. Huh.
Ooh.
What? Huh. That's...
Is this all you've got?
Disrespectful. Disrespectful. No means no, Usui.
This is when you kick him in the crotch.
Dang. She should have.
Right?
That was the perfect situation. But he just ragdolled the mess out of her. Dude literally... He actually seems like he has super strength right now. He literally took this woman
By one
and
arm.
launched her entire body with one hand.
Right? Casually, too.
Bruh.
Look, I don't care how strong you are. One, your build isn't... Okay, your build might be hidden behind your cloak, but still, like... She can't be that light of a woman, because she is that, and she has a sword, and she has all of her gear on her. And then also...
That has to be at least like 160 pounds, 180 pounds worth of things. And he
Right.
just went, whoops!
Mm-hmm.
That's wild. I was so wrong.
So what I saw then was the future. That was my power, my dream sight.
What do you mean? I don't understand. Nope, talk. I don't understand, Miyo. Okay.
This is just like the dream I had.
Oof.
So what?
When did she have that dream?
I don't know, I'm just more thinking about how the girl just doing the one that she went down head first.
Yeah, concussion. Concussed.
God, I feel so bad for her.
So apparently her dream sight is that she can see the future. So that's like the revelation of the prince. I don't remember her having that dream, but let's see.
Saw then was the future. That was my power, my dream sight. If only I had told Lord Kudo about my vision.
But now you can.
This could have ended without anyone getting hurt.
Or more people getting hurt.
I am the one that man wants.
Don't, Miyo.
Because I'm the only one in the world with the dream sight ability.
So far.
But I still don't understand a thing about this power.
I think the other thing I don't really understand too, so means if Usui has that power, someone else in his family lineage must have that power. Miyo directly got her dream sight from her mother.
Mm-hmm.
So it means... I wonder if that's why they have multiple branches, so each branch has their own variation of those powers.
Possibly, because... So it's possible that the Usui branch is just the wider branch of the family that just everyone that has, and then they I guess maybe they keep track of individual lines that marry each other.
Because I'm like, it would be broken if someone actually had the dream sight plus his powers.
I don't think you can have more than one power.
Well, Kyoka proves that wrong.
Unless that's all one power, though.
I don't think it's all one power, because his dad only kept using ice powers.
Maybe. Okay. That would definitely explain why they would want to... Wait a minute.
Prevent marrying of multiple
Wait,
powers.
the other guy, the one that she was married, the cousin, like,
Yeah.
what was his power again? Didn't he make it seem like Miyo came?
Yes. He also has the ability to kind of mess with some of your perceptions.
So does this mean he just has the stronger version of it?
Yes.
Okay. So I guess
This is like steroids.
then was that what they were trying to achieve before marrying Miyo of him and then getting one of both powers?
Perhaps.
So I do wonder though, like the fact that he calls her his daughter suggests he's probably not going to marry her. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Hopefully.
But yeah, because then I guess the power becomes now, not only can you mess with them in their dreams, you mess with them while they're awake.
I mean, that would definitely be very scary. Like,
Because you don't trust yourself while you're awake, right? So you have no reprieve. He's messing with you while you're awake, and then he's messing with you while you're asleep. So he controls literally your entire reality.
no future, no past, all me.
What should I do?
Run.
What can I do?
Run.
She's not fast enough for that.
All right, Miyo. Do you think that you
And then he's walking on slow to you.
Hence.
Absolutely not.
Run.
I will never cooperate with someone who can hurt people and laugh like it's nothing.
Kyoga could do that.
Anyways, you are certainly not my father.
You are Sumi's child after all, Miyo. That is the same thing as being my daughter.
What?
I understand that my mother was a very important figure in your life. However,
Oh, that's why.
if you take me from this place, it isn't the same thing as saving her. I know that you would have liked to save her, but she's not here anymore.
Interesting. Oh, God.
You have a comeback for everything, girl.
She doesn't.
So be it. We'll just have to do this the hard way.
Oh no. I don't want to know what that means.
Yes!
Step away from my fiancée!
Yay, you, Kyoka.
Lord Kudo!
You detected my little diversion.
I wouldn't have said anything though. I would have tried to smoke him from behind.
Unfortunately for you, we have someone who can see the future. Is that right? Now Shiusui descends here and now!
Oh, it's a barrier.
Yes, we knew it was a barrier.
That's why I didn't smoke him.
Not today. I am afraid I'm just getting started.
Ooh! Genjutsu.
So, Vertigo? Take her!
He just disappeared.
So that was exclusively sound, right?
I'm assuming that's what they did because they all cover their ears.
Right?
But I have no clue what he did to them. Without being able to have like VR where you can sense everything everyone's sensing, it's hard to tell.
Power activation. Instant tinnitus!
Yeah, that would be terrible.
It's almost like what he did, though. But it makes you wonder, though. Does that mean he has to be present to keep it active? Because-
Probably not. I think it's just a waste of energy.
No. Torment them forever.
Eventually run out of energy.
Still, make them suffer.
And you're right too. The fact that they were all just messed up, he could have just grabbed Miyo. He was like, if he was able to throw the guard like that,
Uh-huh.
he could have easily just picked Miyo up and walked with one arm.
Yeet.
Because she's tiny. He would whoop. Like,
This is mine now. And it's vanished.
yeah. So that was an L on his part. So yeah, L for the guards, L for Shisui.
Other terrifying thing. Even if she grabs her and Mio screams, he can shut out their hearing.
Yep.
They can. That means she can scream all
He was
around.
like, "Shut up, girl. No one can hear you anyway."
Like,
Make her think she lost her mouth. She's like,
Yeah.
"Where'd my mouth go?"
he can make it so that she thinks she can't scream, that she can't make it sound. Mm-hmm. She has no mouth, so she may not scream.
Yeah.
This is a lot of body horror potential.
Yes.
Miyo! Are you alright?
I'm sorry for this.
I'm so glad to see that you're safe.
Same.
Yes. I definitely thought she was being taken.
Yeah.
Miyo, everything's alright now. Please do not push yourself too hard.
Is it?
Lord Kudo.
Your guard got
I
smoked.
beg you.
Yeah. Shisui should have definitely had a kid. I said Shisui should have definitely had a kid. Even if he couldn't get Miyo's mom, he should have definitely still had a kid, groomed him to think the same way as him. Then you have two of him. So you have a backup.
I am surprised he hasn't though, because these kind of people like would literally just have a kid, then make a servant to them, and then mold them into them.
Because now if you have another person who thinks just like you, and people think of this power, blah, 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 people look down on you. You basically train them to show that they can be better and try to improve the world. And you have this other acolyte walking around where you can... Two Shisuis, they'd be unstoppable. Because he's like, as soon as I get tired, you catch up, you take in, and we'll be able to do the backups.
Yeah, it's like swap. Okay, tag out. Tag in.
Relay! Yeah, because like you'd be unstoppable at that point. And the crazy thing is, he's a guy, so it's not like he was the woman with that power where she only had one baby every 9 months. He could have went and just probably had been like a crazy deadbeat dad, had like 13 kids with 13 different women, and raised them all at the same time.
He was an Usui. If he would just play the card smart and didn't mess up, it would have been easy for him to get a wife. We go with that power. There's no family that wouldn't want to marry. That wouldn't want.
Yeah, Dude could have had a whole bunch of side chicks too. Had all these kids, and dude would have been a beast. He would have had his own starting team. That would have been diabolical. But good thing he didn't, because otherwise Miyo would have been taken.
Yes.
So. But before you go for it, my other thing is that why did he run? Right? If he could have still finished the rest of those off, was he running because he was running out of juice, running out of power, or he didn't think he could win? Like, I don't understand why he ran.
Right? Like, there's no reason for
He was at the advantage. He obviously he was able to take all of them. Even though Kyoka broke the shield, he still even incapacitated Kyoka. So I'm like, why did he run if he had the upper hand?
In the very least, I would have run towards him and shanked Kyoka.
Yeah. So he would have been the biggest threat in the room. I would have incapacitated him, still stole Miyo, and said, well, I got what I wanted anyway. So you just made it easy for me to get out of the barrier.
Like shank Kyoka, take Miyo, run off, and then like suddenly like your commander's bleeding out.
Yep.
The wife, the fiance was stolen.
Yep.
All these people are dying.
Yep. Just causes much. I'm like, they're just catching L's on both sides. I don't understand. Because like, it's not even like we're thinking about these like in like long thought. It's like within the second, like I could have thought of all these different things under pressure.
Yeah, it's the fact that we don't know how much his power is taxing him. So we generally do not know when he's making a tactile choice, when he's making a stupid choice, and when he is like.
Well, I guess they'll tell us a little bit as we keep going.
Kaoruko.
Burbs.
Tweet.
Major General, we've investigated inside, but couldn't find any traces of a struggle.
Is that so? It was a red herring after all.
What if the Usubas put out the story about His Majesty's abduction? It's possible that they're colluding with Usui.
They could be colluding, or they just don't know they are.
I believe that's not the case.
Prepare to leave now. The investigation is over. Yes, sir.
You should be slapped for spreading rumors. Unless you know for sure. Do not waste your time.
Yeah.
Or if you have time to talk, you have time to be working.
Yeah.
Major General, sir. I have a request just for today. I would like to do my own investigation.
You intend
Green
to
eyes.
investigate on your own?
Yes, sir.
I empathize with you. But doing this will change nothing about the bias against the Usubas.
Even so, sir, please.
There's a bias against them.
Didn't you just hear?
Well, yes, but it's news to me.
No, it isn't anymore. Baby eyes.
Grandfather, what is the role of the Usuba family?
Murder.
We keep supernatural ability users in check. We strike down the evil ability users. This role is an important one that only the Usubas can play.
That's a lie.
forbidden from making any friends?
Because those are the rules, my boy. The family rules are much more important than our lives.
But still, though, I want to have some friends of my own.
Usupas would do well not to get involved with other ability users, young one. You have the potential to become the next head of the family. Respect the rules and stay the course.
What does that potential of being the next head of the family mean? Like, what type of potential is he talking about? Because obviously, Usui had way better abilities than he did. So is it an ability thing, or is it an intellect thing, is it a family lineage thing?
And like, so what benefit does the social isolation give? Is it to make them more callous so they're willing to kill them as needed?
I'd imagine so. Because you don't see them as friends, you don't humanize them, you strike them down. This is the reason why even like in other spaces, the best thing to do for us versus them is dehumanize the opposition so that you can take them down by any means necessary.
That's just promoting such an unhealthy mindset.
Well, for people who are basically an assassin class, for your most powerful warriors, it's kind of something you need.
I know. But then they have them be a public family.
Whenever the maiden of dream sight appears, you are not whole.
Well, I don't know if they're actually a public family, right? I think people, ability users know them because they know that's going to be their, like their, what do you call it?
Check.
Yeah, their check and balances or their accountability arm. So that people know, for example, in the real world, police officers are our accountability arm. You don't do crimes because you might get caught by the police and put in prison. So you're aware of the police, but you don't really see them all that much. You might see them like on their posts and stuff like that, but they're not like really public facing. You don't know all the training they go through, all the things they know. You don't know where they put all their guns in their holsters and stuff they use for their self-defense. So like they're not really a public face. At least for me, it didn't seem like they were a very public-facing family. A lot of people seem not to even know who the members are because they didn't recognize that Miyo was a Usuba.
Yeah, you would think that she would be recognized on sight.
So it seems to be like even though they are known by the higher ups, but they're not really, really known.
But you don't know much about how the common people think.
Yeah. Most of you have been in the noble realm. So.
Become the sword that protects her.
The sword that protects the Maiden of Dream Sight.
You will protect the maiden at every moment.
And so Dream Sight must means it's only given to women? Because he said Maiden of Dream Sight. So is that only carried in women?
Possibly. Which is random.
So it means technically the most powerful offspring that Kyoka can make would be a woman, a female child. Because if he has a male child, she can't use a dream sight. I would still prefer Usui's powers plus Kyoka's powers instead of having to use dream sight.
So you want him to fuck him?
Or someone like him.
And Brig.
I should show you one of those interviews where the dude was in jail. He said, "I tried to make that dude's booty pregnant." It's like that's not biologically possible, but I'm like, okay, I get it.
In a Megaverse, it is.
Yeah, so the Megaverse it is.
Okay, I'm totally surprised you do know what that is, though.
But yeah, sometimes you may get exposed. I might not know deeply about it, but be exposed.
Nothing.
At times, be the one to cut down her enemies. It is an important duty, and it's one that only you can perform.
Why?
To be supposed to be hollow, without evil ability users, we can never fulfill our purpose. That is why I wanted her, Miyo. But in the end, I'm still hollow.
You're talking about guns. He uses a gun.
Right?
I just thought about it. Because, yeah, he did like Kyoka in that fight. I totally forgot. Yeah, so guns exist. For whatever reason, the army just don't use them.
Give her a gun.
Yeah, give her a gun.
No, I mean, genuinely.
Yeah, give her a gun.
So, she needs it to protect herself at this point.
Yeah. Her cousin should be able to help her out and get to the gun range.
Yeah, like, even vaguely, like just a gun like that, give it to her, like just some practice lessons. She should be.
As soon as she sees, she should be pop, 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 pop.
On sight.
Yes, smoke on sight.
He walked by. Oh, there you are. Bam. Suddenly shows over.
Yep.
want to protect doesn't even exist. What's the matter,
Oh God.
little boy Usama?
Ooh.
But it's also
Pow pow.
Is aching. I may understand why better than anyone.
Shut up and get down on the floor!
You remind me of myself from years ago.
Shoot. Don't play
I told
games.
you, hold your tongue!
You believe that protecting Miyo is your responsibility, that it is your duty, despite knowing that she'll never be yours. But my dear boy, she does belong to you.
oh no.
The bullshit!
I could help you, you know. I can show you a way to make your life a little easier.
I won't listen to anything you have to say! Raise your hands
Then
and
just
surrender!
shoot.
Mm-hmm. As soon as his hand went up, I would have just pulled the trigger.
Wait.
No, press and hold.
No.
Tell him to stop.
Stop.
Arata Usama.
Arata.
The gifted communion is waiting for you.
That must have been.
Oh, wait,
For what?
you have to get the...
I had to go back to when he was smiling because I didn't get. Because his hand went up and I was confused.
That was a horse smile.
What to say?
Yes.
Raise your hands and surrender!
It reminds me of some of the demonic smiles from Castlevania.
Mm-hmm.
Arata Usama.
Sun's going
The
down.
gifted communion is waiting for you.
Then it can keep waiting. Bang.
That's a good comeback, though.
Vigilance against the gifted communion has been even higher since the attack. What I'm allowed to do within the quarters is more limited than before. And as for my first friend, she's also nowhere to be found.
Probably locked her up because she sold you out.
At present, this is the only location that I could possibly think of where we could speak without interruption.
Then, what is this about?
The kitchen.
I apologize.
Huh? You can stop bowing now, please.
I know now that I was entirely wrong about you. When you face Naoshi Usui and I witness your valiant and dauntless spirit, I recognize my mistake immediately. You being a woman and your connection to the Usuba has no bearing on anything. You're a truly courageous person.
Oh, no, I'm not very...
From now on, I will work to shape this organization into one valuing people and focusing on their merits.
Oh,
For Jinochi's sake, too.
that's not bad.
Excuse me. Regarding Kaoruko, what is going to become of her?
Death.
It is likely she'll receive a severe punishment.
But she was only trying her best to protect her family, and she worked
3
for the
butt
gifted
pats.
communion because she was forced to.
It's true. That is why I intend to make a request that will hopefully reduce the severity of her punishment.
10
She is
lashes.
strong. She's an indispensable soldier, and our unit can't lose her.
Right.
Mark it.
Oh, wee, Hatsuki, you've outdone yourself! The commander could never dream of hosting a party like this one!
I thought Hazuki was cooking. I was like, does she cook?
Have your injuries healed already?
They sure have! I'm sorry to have caused you concern!
Arata.
Mr. Arata, it's been a while.
Miyo, you've been well, I hope?
I have. You also seem to be doing well.
Yes, I've been well. Thank you for extending me this invitation.
See, now he's gonna be an inside out.
Yes.
Goodness me. You're not feeling jealous again, Kyoka.
I am not jealous.
Sure. Now that everyone has arrived, why don't we have another toast?
Says Kyoka.
Yes.
Wait, she is Hazuki.
Yeah, she is Hazuki.
With the Miyo?
Oh no, I actually don't drink alcohol.
What?
Sorry, Miyo, for dragging you into this chaos.
Start drinking.
We'd rather end the year quietly.
Oh, I don't think this is chaotic. I had been hoping that I would see Big Sister.
Aww.
And anyway,
Siskudo!
this is the first fun end of year I've ever had.
I see. If that's the case, then I'm glad.
Tonight's got quite the bite, doesn't it? Mio, darling, could you fetch some charcoal? Of course. I'll go
She
get
sounds
it
more
right
like a
now.
mom than a big sister.
Wait for it. Oh. Oh!
She's like, go do your thing, Kyoka. I'm a great wing woman.
He's here. Oh, she's here.
Is that really you?
Hug.
Hi, Miyo. It's been a while. Hi, Kaoruko. Have you been doing well? I came to tell you. It was decided that once the hearing's over, I will be returning to the old capital. So I came to say goodbye to you. Goodbye? Why are you leaving? Well, the commander had a discussion with the higher-ups, and so I was given special permission to leave. Lord Kudo did that? Captain Mukadeyama, too. He also put forward a written request for my punishment to be reduced. I've been counting all of my blessings, you know? Even though I betrayed all of you and But that was because someone like me, isn't worthy of the privilege of your friendship, Miyo. But you know, even so, from now on I'll be making every effort to redeem myself from my sins. So when I have fully atoned for everything that I've done, would you consider being my friend again?
Fine,
No.
Ushui, kick him in the nuts. I'll consider that to be atonement.
You should have done that in the first place when he grabbed you.
It would be my honor.
Well, if she would have did that in the moment, then I'm like, atonement's considered.
Yeah.
But now it's harder because you gotta go find him and kick him in the nuts.
Oh. Grab a knife, stab him in the nuts. Cut him off.
Good luck trying.
Oh, it's snowing.
Jinx, you owe me a soda.
What is soda in Feudal Japan?
The first snow that falls in the bleak winter may also bring dark clouds to those who feel it. I am sorry. My actions shall inevitably cause you some hardship.
What you
Oh,
about to do?
violence.
Okay.
So, in this episode, we lost Best Girl. Well, not lost. We lost one of the good girls.
Yes.
Shame.
Yeah. It's so hard. Why is it so hard to have good female characters in this show?
To be fair, there are good female characters. There are well-written female characters in this show. Just most of them are trash,
Yes.
which is very different from having bad characters.
That's true. None of the characters are truly poor.
There it is, bees.
Yeah.
Which I guess is impressive in its own right, because they consistently make us hate so many of them.
That's true. And the crazy part is most of them aren't tsunderes either, which is the crazy part.
None of them are sundares.
Well, Kyoka's mom sort of
Kind
is.
of, but I guess. Yeah, okay. She is a well-written tsundere, as in, like, it's... Because there are two sides there. She is the cold front, and then she kind of... Even then, she doesn't want to fully show it. It's like...
Yeah.
So she has to show it through abuse.
Yeah, but like Miyo's actual stepmother, trash.
Sister, could improve, but still trash.
Trash, but hopefully redemption arc.
Hazuki, fully fine.
Yes.
She needs to do more, but she's fine.
So yeah, so it's this world is so crazy. Yeah, and then Usui, like, well, of course you have to have a trash. You have to have a trash villain. That dude is really on demon time. I really wish I understood the limitations of his powers and his decision making, because I feel like he could be more diabolical and he could have accomplished his goal. I wish I understood his goal.
Because he clearly has the intent to be malevolent. Like the way he chose to use his powers is it's very vindictive, but at the same time he can also use his powers to be efficient.
Mm-hmm.
But it makes us think, like, he seems to use powers. No, I would say he uses powers in sort of relativity to how much of a threat they are,
Mm-hmm.
and also how fast he needs to get through them.
Yeah.
Because when he goes full on, they're gone almost instantly. But at the same time, he did not use his energy against the girl he was fighting.
No, he didn't. He just murked her with superior, I guess, strength.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because usually I'm used to like anime being like girl power, showing that they're super strong. You think of like Cisco Yan from Black Clover, where she just like
I mean,
gets super strong.
that's one that showed too. She's inhuman. Like,
Yeah,
that's not a woman.
she's a beast. She's literally a fire
Marilyn
tiger.
is not a woman. She looks a woman, but she's not a woman. She's
a fire
that
beast.
in the best way possible.
Yeah, she's a fire beast. But even with her like body enhancement ability, she still got manhandled.
Which is odd to me because like you would think that would alleviate the gap between male and female strength,
You would think,
but it didn't.
They didn't. He still
So
manhandled
it means
her.
that he is either that much far above her, which means he is superior to upper men too,
Yeah,
and he has that power on top of that.
yeah.
Okay, generally, how is he going to be beaten then?
I don't know, but then it kind of also plays in the fact that the Usabas are trained to take down ability users,
Yeah.
right? So it means they have to have. Now it makes sense, like why he's not weak, because like if you have to go murk people who are bad ability users, so these might be people who are betraying the army, might be generals, might be really powerful. You gotta be able to like manhandle them, at least handle them physically, because they're training in the military, right?
Yeah.
There's physical requirements. They're running, they're strong, they're doing different things, they can fight these grotesqueries. So like you have to be able to beat people who beat supernatural beings.
Yeah, it makes sense, but usually you would think that kind of what you call it, like obfuscating ability would be paired with a character who's less physically active to sort of balance it out. So the fact that he has both makes me wonder what is his weakness. Because Kyoka,
Well, weakness is definitely already knows that he can't use his power indefinitely.
I know,
So eventually it incapacitates him for a while.
yeah, but he can definitely use it enough that in this situation,
Yeah.
and he can also just use it to wide scale to give everyone tinnitus and then fuck off
Well, wide scale meaning that.
everyone in the room.
Which is why originally when I first started off the episode, I was like, it was so dumb
Yeah.
to have all of them clustered in one spot where I would have a few in there and a few I can see inside the windows from a little bit further away to be outside of the scope of reach.
Especially now that we know that guns are real.
Yes.
There is no reason to be that close.
Yes.
There is no reason.
There's no reason to have everyone that close. You might be able to have one
So-
person who take advantage of being close, but
If he's the only person, if the Arata is the only person we know of who has had a gun, I wonder if that means that guns aren't common or.
well, like you said, they wear those sashes where you assume
Right.
they have rifles
Right.
at least.
But none
But
of
none of
them
them
do.
carry rifles. They all carry swords, but none of them carry rifles.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but I guess pros, Miyo wasn't taken. Because I don't think I could handle another episode where, like, she was taken from Kyoka, locked him in the shed, and then beat by her sister and her mother, stepmother. And I'm like, if you would have did something terrible to Miyo, I would have been probably mad for the next few episodes. So, I prefer not being mad and just, like, speculating more so on his powers than anything else than, like, having a whole exposition, a few episodes of Taken, don't know where Miyo is, how does Kyoka go to find him.
The
But
power of love.
yes, cliche. But at least now we can kind of focus more so on what is Usui's limitations. Did he infiltrate a rot? Pause. did he pull
Infiltrate
a,
him.
did he pull Rata under his wing into his cause? Does Rata really want Miyo bad enough that he's willing to betray his family and the goals and the things he's doing so far?
I feel he won't, but I do feel that he's still tempted. But at least not from Miyo. I think he feels he lacks a purpose, so
Yeah.
maybe the communion will give him a purpose.
Well, I don't know if he lacks purpose because he just said that.
He says he feels to be supposed to be hollow, and without
Yeah.
evil ability users, we cannot fill our purpose.
Yeah,
so I'm almost
that's
like,
true. But then he says that he's fighting for a world that he says that doesn't exist. So, what world is he looking for?
maybe we'll find out soon.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Well, let's hope we find out in the next episode. But those are all my thoughts. Anything else you want to say?
I think we covered pretty much everything.
Cool. Well, that's it for My Happy Marriage Season 2, Episode 6. We'll catch you next time in the next Hangout session. If you like what we talk about, hang out with us. Like, comment, subscribe down below. Join the Patreon if you'd like to support us. and we'll like to see you next time on our next hangout session.
Wale.